and in the clown.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube. Amazing. This is so exciting, everyone. It is Thursday, August. What is today? August 6th? Yeah.
August 5th.
It's August 6th. August 6th.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
there we
God.
go. So you can always rely on us for reliable, accurate information, including almost the correct day of the week. I am, of course, your host, Leah Laxtons. I'm a native Kentuckian with a passion for hemp. I'm joined by my two co-founders, co-hosts. I've got Captain Cannabis, who's just tuned in, and Cynthia Morales, our producer, as well. And today we're super stoked because we've got a couple of very exciting special guests with us. We got Derrick Cross and we've got Jesse. So let's get started. We have our intro video, or is that not playing today?
It's not.
No, that's okay. You guys just be ready for it next week.
Right
We like to keep you guessing. Here on Hemp Tours, it's the Texas Hemp Party. So let's get right into it and talk to our guests, get them introduced. So Derrick Cross, you are the host of the Hemp Chat, which is super cool. What else do you do in the world of hemp? Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the industry.
All right, there we are. Hey, welcome. Thank you very much for having me on, being a guest on your show, Hemp Tours, and everything you're doing here in Texas and keeping things green around the globe. So I've been in the space for over 13 years educating about agricultural hemp. I was hooked on it after, well, we can go back further into my life, but we'll just keep it all hemp right now. And it was about my skin, eczema, looking for a non-pharmaceutical relief. I used hemp seed oil to heal my eczema. And then I was like, okay, what else can this do? So I started expanding. Now, as a youngin', about 14, I was in Minnesota detasseling corn and pulling weeds out of the bean fields. And there was feral hemp. Well, I thought it was, regular cannabis. Didn't know much about hemp back then. So I'd fill up my pockets with leaves and bringing it home to my mom. And I'm like, I had my lunchbox full of a couple plants. And anyhow, long story short, then I realized more what the difference was between hemp and cannabis. So same plant. But so then I
really
wanted
cool.
to learn more about the hemp seeds and the nutritional side of what this plant can offer. Not only as the medicine that we use internally for um, healing other ailments in one's bodies, but working with it in the form of hemp seeds, hemp seed oil, and protein powder. So I started Hemp Healthy Today was my first media outlet. And I got that blog going and really started to reach more around the globe and get more connected because here in the United States, it was limited. So I reached out to our leaders up in the north in Canada, made some really good personal connections up there and over in Europe, and started learning more about the plant, more about the farming and additional benefits. And then the past few years, the past 7 years, we started importing the hemp herd and the fiber. And then we started a company that we were working together was um, we imported the hemp herd for animal bedding, and then we started cutting the rolls into grow mats, and then we just that took on like wildfire. And I'll go back to Ryan Laughlin and planting the seed in 2013 in Colorado and going to have the opportunity to harvest that crop and really getting hands on, really doing some harvesting other than in a Minnesota hemp field or farm field. So
Yeah.
a lot of us, there was about 40, 50 of us that came around collectively to help Ryan harvest his 55 acres, and that was a turning table in time for here in the United States and the push to continue pushing forward. And so I didn't feel complete, and I'm still not complete. I've continued educating. I've worked with legislation here in Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Nebraska, um, and Wisconsin, just to say name a few. I was partnered with the first female in the United States on 2014. We grew primarily for hemp tea. And then we were actually probably one of the first ones, other than people dinking around with it in California on the tea side, THC side. Um, we were doing crockpot CBD, the Rick Simpson's method with it. And so then that snowballed, and here, I didn't stick with it into the CBD space. I just kind of, uh, being here in Texas and the rules and the laws, knowing that education still had to continue, um, that that relationship's still there. She's still flourishing in Colorado. She is doing great work, and I'm glad I had the experience from there, and to help others get into this space, and then teach people why they want to grow it, and find out everybody's why. So the Hemp Chat's about education, innovation, and inspiration, and being a public speaker, being out there on the forefront, and we have the Hemp Chat, and we talk about it just kind of like you're doing it. So we try to bring on some great guests to spread the awareness and education first and foremost. Working on a lot of things here. I know I'm taking up a little bit of time, but
No, you're great. It's all
You're
interesting. That's
awesome.
why we want to have you
Yeah.
on, to have some OG knowledge in here.
No,
So
I wouldn't
please,
say
yeah.
OG knowledge, but it's just
What a journey.
we're just learning every day. So the more we get out there, the more we're learning from others as well. So being where we are today, I have another company called Envision, where we work on the technology side of things. We're partnered with university here in Texas, UNT, and we've worked with some great professors and scientists there. And for the past 4 years, we've been working on energy storage utilizing hemp and canafa as well.
So cool.
If anybody out there is looking to invest in our company, our pilot program to put this together here in Texas with our education and knowledge, that's another company, Envision. And then our new company is HD Innovates, where we partnered with Canada Hemp Sense Incorporated, leaders in that space. And Lyle Bates up in Canada is the man that has really put some of these products to the test. And so years ago up in Canada, they grew primarily a short crop that grew about 3 feet. And it was primarily because they have a short season. They grew for seed, and that was it. So he'd see all the piddly stalks in the field and wondering, what the hell can we do with this crop? So he, in his innovative mind, he started creating these products here, like this patented crumble, and it's more absorbent than the hemp herd. This is what we started importing to use for animal bedding, but you can see it's inconsistent. It still has fibers. It's really hard to get. You have to go through multiple passes to get this really, really clean. So any processor just learning the ropes is still going to try to figure this out. But this patented product is it's more consistent, more soft, and soaks up more. So if you look me up and look at some of the videos that I've just recently released, you'll see, and you'll be in awe. So what does that mean? It gives us a real product, something new and innovative. Now, this is a soil enricher. So we get to use this for moisture control. It's been saving up in Manitoba. The municipality up there has noticed close to about a 60% water reduction by using this product in their floral arrays and the parkways and, other parks and areas. So that's really beneficial. And then this product is really cool. I got a lot of response on this the other day. I put this out.
Yeah,
everybody wants this
baby.
cat litter. So this is coming to Texas. Our shipment from our partner will be here on Monday, and it's our responsibility to distribute and sell across the United States. And that's just what we're doing. These are 10-pound bags. And then for the hemp bedding, we have this to replace the hemp herd for customers that want to make the change and try it. We have 45-pound bags. So we're really excited about that, to go into the chicken coops, to go into the equine farms and all the little critters, pet bedding and guinea pigs and lizards and snakes. Oh my. So we're really excited. It's something that I've longed for many, many years. And then part 2 phase of that is we are raising capital right now for the processing, and we're talking with other municipalities that have and want this crop in their community, have farmers interested, and then we can help them grow and actually turn their product, instead of empty bales sitting there. With the CBD industry and cannabis as a whole, and now agricultural hemp and fiber is on the rise, people want to know what they can do with this stuff. So that's what we're here to show them. And we want to work with farmers to get their product to market. It's no different than what we've seen in the CBD space. Everybody's trying to struggle and get their products out to market. And it's been real competitive because everybody just boom. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And why not? Because everybody loves this plant. So I urge people to not go boom so fast, and just let's grow slow, start out small, and see if this is the way you want to go. And so I do a little consulting too, but that's about enough of me. How about you?
I have a question though. I have a question though. Now, here's the thing: is are you the farmers that are growing the product, that the biomass that you're using to create these amazing products? By the way, that is really cool. It's very unique. I haven't seen. We mostly see everyone jumping into the business and they're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. But when I'm looking at this product, now, is this just, if a farmer is going to sell to you for this product, are we? He's not necessarily going to grow the flower to be extracted necessarily, or is he taking the flower, extracted, and then taking the rest of what's left of the plant and sending it to you?
Yeah, that's great. That's an excellent question. And so we have the abilities to work with the whole plant in pre and or post process of plant extractions and et cetera. We have to be careful on what we bring in and how it was processed. So we have to realize that this is going into, another use product. So that may not work, but it all depends on that. But when we're growing for fiber and seed, that crop will be going right from the field basically into our process. And then that's the multi dual purpose crop that we know of hemp. So whether you're growing it low and slow, or slow and quick on a 3 foot, or you're growing 5, 6, 7, 8 foot plants, there's going to be different equipment that has to be brought in and different baling methods. But it's primarily either round or square bale it, and then we go and grab it, or you bring it to us and we'll look to process that. Now, just mind you that we're not set up in processing yet. We're raising that capital right now. So, and we're working, like I said, with municipalities. Word's out. So I've been entertaining calls from Pennsylvania, Michigan this morning. We've communicated with Kentucky, Arkansas, Oklahoma, here in Texas, a couple of municipalities. And I have others in Colorado that are wanting to do this. And so when we do this, we don't want to overpromise. We want to just make sure that we don't put the cart too far ahead of the horse, as we've seen in the CBD industry. So we have a plan that we know it's tried and true, and it's all the experience along that chain, all the way from our partner Lyle in Canada, and the years of commitment to create these products, patent these products, and make them so that they're ready for the shelf. There's a lot of things that go into this. It's not just throwing product into a bag and saying, well, I got some hemp herd, now I'm selling to the lizard market. This is there's research behind all this. There's a lot of work that goes into putting something like this together. The cool thing about this bag is it's really inviting. So people that don't know hemp, and they'll see this on the shelf. So when you go to PetSmart or wherever we're going to be putting or distributing these products, they'll be drawn to this, and then it's got an easy carry handle. It's a heavy gauge. It is a poly bag, and we're going to look to make changes in, how we make this, but it is this bag technically is recyclable, right? So, but it's sturdy, and it's 10 pounds. It's easy for light frame individuals. There's a lot of thought that went into this. Now, when we bring a product from Canada, that we're going to do, we're helping support those farmers up there, but there's cost along the whole chain. So we want to be able to reduce those shipping costs. And, you know, right now we're comfortable and we're very competitive on the shelf with other products. So if you go to our website, you'll see what I'm talking about, some of the prices and some of the other products that we have. We're geared up for the equine feed market when we get through that. I know there's a hemp feed coalition is doing some great work in the field, working to get hemp legal to feed to critters that aren't yours. You know, you can feed hemp to your critters on your own farm, but you can't feed them to your neighbors. So called right now, the way the rules are. These products are all FDA. They're certified through so every check marks on the box for import, export has all been there because compliance is key. That's the other key factor we know in this hemp space, right?
Yeah, it's always a constant battle keeping up with the latest, greatest regulations. So I think it's just such an awesome way to introduce hemp to this audience that maybe has never heard of it before or associates it with only CBD or only THC. So it's so exciting to see the products. We're going to definitely pull up the website later and let people get a peek. Let's talk to Jesse. We got Jesse Williams with us from the Texas Cannabis Collective and other projects. Jesse, you always have a lot of cool stuff going on. So tell us a little bit about what you've been working on lately and how you got into this amazing industry.
So what I've been working on lately, we had a big launch with our site. We created our own social network because we had been facing issues, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Cross has probably faced some of the same items. When you get on social media and you start talking about hemp, just cannabis in general, almost immediately Facebook steps in and goes, no, you're doing something we don't like. They shut it down. And if they don't shut it down, they mark you as false news. And if you get marked as false news, they actually reduce how many people can see what you post up. So we decided we've got to get away from this. We've got to find a way to move people to a platform where it's ours, where we can say, hey, if you want to talk. If you want to do activism. If you have products, we'd like to have a space for you to be able to advertise your products without worrying about the Zuckerbergs and the Dorseys of social media coming and telling you, no, we don't approve of that, despite this is a legal product on the market. So we call it Texas Cannabis Collective Community. It's at community.texascanico.com. I think you had yes, that is it right there.
I got my profile set up and everything. So it's been really fun playing around with it and seeing people really get excited about this thing, man. Y'all blew up on the users right away. So you could tell there was a need for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying we want to expand it as we go and move forward and move people onto it. We've got groups that we can set up where it's pretty much in-depth topics. We can also, as I did today with this, I posted up an event saying, hey, we're going to have this live stream. This is the people who's going to be on there. These are things we're possibly going to talk about, as well as we can offer courses. So if people want to come and teach something to somebody else, we can say, hey, you pay us X amount of money a month and you offer the course. And then as people come in, they can actually pay for the course, and we do whatever agreement the business wants to do to offer this course between how much money is actually being brought in by people taking the course. And it's I think I talked to you about it. It's way cheaper than what a lot of other people are wanting to charge for courses. And I don't mean how much you charge a customer, but the platforms themselves.
Oh, for
how much
sure.
they want to charge.
Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous for sure. And then some of them also, as you brought out, aren't that friendly to hemp, even hemp alone, let alone any other cannabis talk. So I think you've found a great way to put together and leverage the tribe here in Texas in a positive way. Would you say primarily then you have hemp consumers on here, or is it a lot of industry too? Kind of a mix?
It's definitely a mix. I've noticed as people we send out a basic link and people had to fill out a questionnaire saying like, do you plan on doing anything? And do you have a skill? And I actually saw quite a few people who were joining up. They're like, oh, I own a shop. Like I own a shop in Houston, or I own a shop in Dallas, or I have a farm, or we're starting farming and we're looking for information. We want to connect with other people who are interested in this. And I'd say the other mix is people who are activists who want to get information, be on the same page. So when we go to the Capitol this next legislative session, we're all going as one. We've got so many of these little groups that are spread out, but we've all got the same mission in the end, is we want to progress these laws forward. So it's like, let's get ourselves an umbrella, get everybody underneath this umbrella, and go at this like just one big like rough sled towards it.
And especially this year where it's going to be a little different. We don't know how much of this is going to happen virtually. So it's good to get all the information in one place. So go over to the Texas Cannabis Collective, txcanaco.com, and you can register for your account here. Now, you guys dropped some news today. That's why we love Texas Cannabis Collective, because you guys are always on top of the latest, greatest in Texas news. Dropped some news this morning that I think probably interesting for us all to talk about. Our friends over at Ritter Spencer Attorneys, we had Paul on last week, actually. He was awesome. So they've dropped a lawsuit along with a few other litigators, and it's been combined into, filed together against the Smokable ban. So anybody have any thoughts on this? I think this is probably good overall, that will, but it's going to be a wait to see kind of scenario. Obviously, it's not going to stop anything that's currently happened. But what do we think about that?
Well, 60% of all of our, of the consumer sales in Texas. These are some figures we've heard. Wouldn't you say we hear figures around 60% of the business?
I've heard 40%. Yeah, 40%? But probably certain stores, I'm sure, up to 60. Yeah. We have some brands that are just complete smokable brands here too, which I think are involved in this lawsuit. So it's going to be interesting. Jesse, thanks for dropping the news on that.
Yeah.
No problem.
So let's talk about some other more fun stuff, though. Lawsuits are fun when you're not a party in them, but I think we can come up with some other stuff. So there is the lawsuit. You can let's see, you can see it there on Texas Cannabis Collective. So we actually have something cool that dropped last week. We dropped our self-guided tour. So if you're wanting to do a hemp tour in Austin right now, we're just in Austin, but we're going to be spreading these across the state and into a few other states. You can go to upcoming tours and you can click self-guided. You put in your email address here and you're going to download the map. And the reason we want your email address is when you finish it, then we're going to send you some cool hemp tour swag. So we want you get your info so that when you finish the map, then you take a photo at each stop and you let us know. If you don't want to do that whole process, don't want any swag, you just want to do self-guided, you can actually search on, I think you want hemp tour swag, but whatever, like it's a whole process. You don't want to do it. You can also just go to Google Maps and Google the self-guided hemp tour in Austin. You'll find this little tour that we put together. We're super stoked about it. And we're excited about some future things we're going to be doing, building on this, building education into this self-guided component via some cool videos and interactive elements within these shops. But there's a couple cool ones on here. Prohibition Creamery, our friends with the CBD ice cream, kind of tropical with the CBD waffles. So it's not all just CBD shops. You get to go to a variety of places, and we can't wait until we get this hemp bedding out here in some stores so that then we can send them to go check out that too, and the many other uses of hemp, farms, etc. So y'all go check out the self-guided hemp tour on Saturday. Captain Cannabis and I and Mad Dog, we're actually gonna get the party bus out, deep clean, sanitize it, and take ourselves on a little tour of these spots, just us. And we're gonna be live streaming the whole thing. So y'all follow us on Instagram at Hemp Tours. Saturday starting at 1, we're going to live stream our little hemp tour adventure and see how it goes, see if we're able to self-navigate. So hopefully Cynthia can join in virtually too on that.
This would be awesome.
Last night was the Texas Normal monthly meeting, which we always love. Shout out Texas Normal, shout out CBD Genie, and of course Jax. And they had some really cool guests. They actually had Mike from Sante Labs on. I don't know, Jesse, did you get a chance to catch it live last night? Let me get you unmuted here.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch it live last night.
That's cool. Yeah, Jesse, that's where we actually all met up, was originally downtown at the old Flamingo Cantina. So it's not quite the same.
I actually met Captain Cannabis at the Capitol. The first time I actually ever suited up.
Oh, that's right.
To go to the Capitol, because I wanted to show Jax. I was like, because there's always this doubt about people like, oh, I know what to do, and they show up like looking like they're going to a Soul Asylum concert, and I'm like, no. I show up like suit all dressed up, and I'm looking around for her, and I turn around and there's Daniel, and then me and Captain Cannabis here we hit it off instantly.
Oh, it's awesome.
Guys have been day one BFFs. That's an even better story than meeting at the normal meeting too. I like that. That's awesome.
We're actually at the Texas Normal booth. That's right there at the Capitol. So if someone wants to get involved, they can get a hold of Jax. But Jesse was volunteering too.
Yeah, that's super cool. I can't imagine both you guys in suits. Wow, what a day.
Mine was a cannabis suit, though. No,
I wonder how that would go over. That would be an interesting social experiment, wouldn't it? So you can go over and you can play back the meeting from last night. Mike from Sante Labs, which is one of our verified brands, gave a nice little overview of the dishes rules for manufacturing, as well as talked a little bit about analytical lab testing services, ISO accreditation, and GMPs, all that. So recommend going back and watching that. Of course, we love Anita, the CBD genie. She always brings such a great vibe to everything that she does. Mm-hmm. So also our good friend Grace was on the news talking about the Texas retail ban on smokables. You can go over to KSAT if you're not in San Antonio. Go over to KSAT, play it back. She really gave a great overview, which she also has on her blog, the Texas CBD blog, for anybody that wants, I would say really very consumer focused, Grace is with her information, which I think is great. She went through what people can expect now when they go into a store, that labeling is going to change. Because, we're all talking about the industry, what's going to change for all of us, but the consumer may have just heard over the weekend for the first time when they saw the vapes and stuff that are going to be gone. So if you have some confusion, she did a great overview of what's going to be different and why it's going to be different, and why you as the consumer should care. Because if you want smokables back and you don't want inaccurate labeling on hemp flower, then you need to get involved at a legislative level, really. And you can do that. You can do that local. You can do that at a state level here in Texas. And there's lots of information that can help you do so. Advocate, right, guys? For
yeah.
Sure.
And what I was thinking too is that even those vape pens, I know a guy that has epilepsy, and his son has epilepsy. And I met him a couple of years ago at one of the business conferences. And guess what? Yes, his son uses a vape pen, and he's I don't even know if he's a teenager. I think he's a preteen. But the doctor says that this is a medical way of using it. As a matter of fact, other doctors say that actually smoking hemp is a medical way of bringing the
fastest consumption method, right? Or
there it is.
Just bioavailability. And yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting ride as we ride this one out and see what happens. But for you, the consumer, if this frustrates you, then please get involved and connect over at the Texas Cannabis Collective too. It'd be a great place to start to see where you can have your voice be heard, for sure. So I want to go back to Derrick. Now, Derrick, you've got the Hemp Chat. Tell us a little bit about the Hemp Chat. I know you talked about it a little bit, but where can this be found, and what do you usually talk about on here?
Oh, well, we talked a little bit about everything on the Hemp Chat. We open it up to a lot of different professionals in the space, and anybody that can really bring some efficacy and value to the table. We want to hear from you. So that's a great little picture there. That's us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was in Colorado, and that was the Farmer Bill right there. And those are people that were brought over from Nebraska. And the one in the blue coat right there, that's a Nebraska senator. And then the guy right next to her holding that fiber is another senator there. So we go years back in the fields teaching people. So the Hemp Chat is about the education and the innovation and inspiration. We just keep it real, kind of like what you guys are doing. But it gives an opportunity for people to come in, kind of talk about compliance, what they've done, and where they're at and where the industry's going, you know. And the big thing is we always talk about a lot about the compliance, you know, and our mission, my personal mission is planting seeds of wellness for the people on the planet. So go ahead and plant it. That's it.
I love that. That's
awesome.
amazing. You know, I think that's the thing is we're all part of this big giant vision of what we know hemp is going to accomplish.
Yeah.
And it's so cool when we get to all kind of do it together with a similar vision and similar mission going forward, because then you really see change happening, especially now. I know probably coming from when you started to where we are now has been.
Oh, it's a big change. It's a real big change. And it's changed in a short amount of time. So we've really collaboratively, you know, through specific groups across the country, everybody's working aggressively, and we're all like the Lorax. You know, I always tell people I'm like the Lorax. I speak for the trees, you know, it's true. But I'll tell you one thing, if we don't keep being the Lorax, Mother Nature is pissed off, you know, and if we're not here to help her heal, she's going to say, see you guys, you know. And if you look around what's going on this planet, there's no time like the present to continue the mission of being sustainable, bringing jobs back here into the United States locally. And that's what we're all about right here. What we're doing with HD Innovates and the Hemp Sense USA is to bring these jobs back. And with the Corona being out, people are looking for new ways, right? And this is an old way of doing new things, right? We got so many cool innovations. The mind never stops. And, you know, I got something really cool here. I'll let you know that inside of this little battery I showed you right here is our product. And it's so cool because everybody freaks out about energy, right? That's just a little button prototype, but inside
that's amazing.
Is the magic. And you can see that, you know, it's black, and I'll show you here. And, you know, everybody, if you had a battery, right, you'd go and rub your finger in there. Yum.
Wow.
Safe, baby.
It's
That's
hempy.
what we're here to do.
Does it taste like chicken or just
tastes like chicken? Yeah. It tastes like just hemp, man. It tastes like a lot of hemp. Like I just
that's
amazing.
Amazing.
Out of an ashtray. But in seriousness, it is we're ready. We're just dollars away from doing it. And the time is now to do it here. And it's these things that will keep driving American jobs and building the economy and strengthening our nation and the grounds that we walk on. So
amen to that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely true. And it's exciting, I think, to see that in your hand is really neat, because for most people, we've read that hemp can do these 25,000 things, but then you get beyond like hempcrete and shirts and you're like, okay, what's the rest of it? So you're bringing that other side, and we see it in your hand. It's tangible. It's here.
Oh, it's here. It's definitely here, and we're excited. It's just been years in the making. And, you know, there's been a couple times I've gone to a couple events. I won't name any events, but I've been asking for help to help me fundraise for these projects, because I've had the innovation in my hand for 4 or 5 years, and everything we're doing, from an energy collection, energy storage, from our phones to our computers, to our cars, to our trucks, to our boats, to everything. We want to fill that space, and it's important right now. We're talking about Texas technology here. We're talking about having the capacity to grow it right here in Texas. You know, the country of Texas, the country of Texas.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I said I was at a DFW normal convention 7 years ago. You can look the video up, and there was going to be a switch. And anyhow, I'll just go off to say, I stood on that stage, and you can look it up on YouTube. I want to bring jobs back here to Texas.
I agree with
We
that.
need it now more than ever.
So,
Well, we don't want the Texans to be buying stuff from out of state. That's what's kind of crazy too. Some of the laws that they were originally, the rules that were coming out, weren't very friendly to the companies that had already, were created here. And so,
yeah.
But at least we got to talk to them, and they didn't know, and so they're learning. And I think I love your mission there. That's beautiful.
Well, thank you. And it's about the society we live in right now. We live in a throwaway society. So with hemp, we just say, go ahead, we'll grow more, right? So when we're making products out of that, you got farmers happy forever, right?
Yeah. Amen. And I think it's going to be exciting. We know there's a lot of farmers out there that are growing, and for them to get to see that there is an end to this supply chain that is being developed, it's going to give them hope, hopefully, to, keep on, like learn this year, and by next year, maybe we'll have some of these supply chains really worked out.
Yep.
If we keep on working it. So you can go there to Hemp Sense USA and check out all of these amazing hemp products that Derrick has been working on. I think I'm most excited probably about the cat litter. I think I'm going to get this for Cynthia for Christmas. She's got like 2 cats. How many cats do you have? 2 cats. Yes, for sure. So we need this. Ewok and Rudy need this.
Jesse said he has 10.
This is a cool one for your dogs too.
Oh, yeah.
Little pet food for them. And then
have you ever
we
used
also
kitty
have
litter?
the whole.
Sorry. I was gonna say kitty litter on your driveway. If oil stains, someone leaves an oil stain,
Right.
you can use kitty litter. Will that still work?
Yeah, so we have an oil absorbent on the website. It's made a little different, but that is a big deal too. So there's different products. It's down a little further. We'll have that coming. You'd have to go to shop all. There it is. I don't know. It should be working. If you go to the products, maybe the products tab up there, you'll see it. But there's oil soak. There's tons of different things that we're actually coming out with. It's down the next row, I think. There it is on the far left.
Oh, yeah, there we
hemp
go.
Absorbent. And so what that is it's made a little finer, but it works fantastic. And, if you guys haven't checked that video out on my website, the absorbency between the hemp herd, you'll see what I'm talking about. So to answer you, Captain Cannabis, yes, sir, it works great.
We got to definitely check that out. I love all the content that you're making, Derrick, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So want to talk about this a little bit. So this came out in Forbes that basically Bruce Linton has created this $150 million venture to, I guess, sort of continue to develop this non-CBD market. So I think this is really interesting because, kind of a big name coming from Canopy Growth and everything, and that he sees this future in outside of CBD. He's kind of like CBD to him feels overdone as a segment. And I think there's probably that could be true, that it's quite saturated. So he's put this together and he thinks he's going to be like $1 billion company in a year or so. So I think that's interesting because to see a big name like that drop that kind of cash in, I think goes towards your mission, Derrick, and a lot of other entrepreneurs out there that are trying to develop this, that just a little bit of funding could really get this thing rolling. And then on the backside, help all these farmers who, we know a lot of this biomass is sitting from last year, maybe help move some of this.
Yeah, and it's everybody that has a creative mind. That's a beautiful thing about cannabis is there's so many uses. So, instead of trying to copy somebody that's doing something, find your niche, find your why. And that's what I help people. I drag it out of them. What's your why? And, you guys know Mark Linday, right? Green Spring.
Yeah.
I'm the reason why he got into this. We were at
that's cool.
Diana Oliver's presentation. I spoke there and he's like, hey, I worked with Mark for quite some time and I'd go back and forth to Fort Worth with him. And he's like, hey, I got an idea. And I'm like, what is it? He's like, I'm going to come up with a pen. I'm like, that sounds great, bro. He's like, yeah, I'm going to put it in all the senators' hands to sign the bill. I'm like, let's do it. So I helped him get into where he needed to be. And then he just took it and ran, and,
Amazing.
he got into his own space. So my recommendation is don't copycat. When you have a plant like this, get on your own and just keep it going, because that helps the market and industry just keep on thriving. And that's what it's about, so find your niche, find your why, and just go, and find people like all of us here to help lead you to the water well and get you to where you need to be.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you are a big inspiration for Amos as well down at MJ's, who's doing some really cool things.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he came to one of our events too, and me and John Patterson with Tiny Hemp Houses. He's like, hey, really liked your talk. And I'm like, yeah, and we're talking. And I'm like, well, what do you do? He's like, I juice. I'm like, a juice ninja. I'm like, well, cool. I said, you could juice hemp leaves. And he's like, yes. And then he got into more CBD and MJs and stuff. But God, big hug to you, Amos, and lots of love to your brother out there. So I hope you're doing more crazy, amazing things. And I want to see you on Ninja Warrior again.
Yeah, for sure. We always love watching Amos. His Instagram is awesome. Always working out, always
good looking dude too, man.
He is. Cynthia and I are just always like, wow, he's got those abs though. Sorry, Captain Cannabis, but he really does.
Hey,
It's the hemp. It's the hemp for sure. And he lives an amazing, healthy lifestyle, vegan, and just does some incredible stuff. So for sure, go follow Amos. I forget his Instagram handle. I know there's MJ's has their own.
Eats More Plants.
That's it. Eats More Plants. Go follow Eats More Plants for sure. Shout out to our homie. Yeah. So Cynthia, I think it's just about time. Do we have a Spanish word of the week?
So we also have our special guest Brandon, who joined us.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon.
Good. He came just in time for this.
So
you got to be kidding me. Thanks a lot. I don't know how special I am, but thank you. And Heather, my wife, just left. I think she had enough of me today, so it's
well, we appreciate.
I'm representing all you Texas folks, I hope, at least, with my legitimate Aikman jersey. It was signed by Troy, and I remember actually where I bought that. I bought that across the border in Oklahoma, which is obviously a rival. But anyway.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. My dad was from Laredo, Texas, so I grew up a true Cowboy fan a long time ago. Yeah,
well, that's awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, Brandon. We'll definitely have to have your wife back on at a future show as well. But tell us a little bit about Aspen Green and what you guys have been up to, what you got going on.
Yeah, so guys, I'll dig in more on each of you. I see Derrick, I've been listening to you for the last maybe 10 minutes. It took me forever to figure out Higher Ed for the password had a capital E and a capital D to get in. But anyway, we are and I know you all love Texas, but we are a Colorado brand itself. And I've got direct relationship. I'm big on having the direct relationship to the farm. So I know my farmer, I want to know my product. I want to know how the farmer frankly loves on the plants. Many of our partners will refer to the plants as babies, when they're in that little preemie stage. And we take, here's flour right here. So I'll have the flour sent to me so you guys can see that. I've got the flour sent to me. And then we've switched over from organic ethanol extraction, which is right here. And this was what we had in all of our products out the gates. And then we've switched over to CO2. So it's got more of that deep red brownish hue to it. And then you guys obviously already know, distillate and isolate and so forth. I don't necessarily need to go through that, but we're passionate about taking full spectrum hemp extract and putting that throughout the entire product line. And we're USDA certified organic. So when I say we are, literally the farms that we partner with are certified organic by the USDA. The extract is, obviously, we take that to our extraction facility partner. They're certified by the USDA as being organic. Then we have to take it to our bottling facility. and that whole supply chain, again, is certified organic by the USDA. And the other thing that I think mostly the ladies know about this, guys, is that our skincare products, our topicals, they're loaded up in the States with a ton of chemicals, formaldehydes, parabens, phthalates, and sulfates. Well, the EU has banned over 1,300 of them. I think it's 1,328 to be exact. And the FDA has only banned 11 of these. So we rarely hear from companies out there promote that they're truly free from toxins. You know, obviously our skin is the biggest organ we have. So Valerie Chong is my partner. She's a partner with us. So we're two families, Heather and Brandon Lewis, and Kyle and Valerie Chong. And so Valerie is really in tune with being toxic free. She tried to kickstart a organic skincare line back in 2015. It started with her having health problems, going to her homeopathic doctor. He says, bring in I want to see what you're using for your skincare products. And he starts reeling off poison, poison, poison. And then here you go. So when we came to fruition, a little bit about us, I'm passionate about legalization, decriminalization, and prison reform. I've been preaching this for seriously 25 years. And as a kid, look, and by the way, I don't care if somebody's doing any other, to call cannabis a drug to me is ridiculous in itself. It's a plant, right? So we've got this stigma with people getting thrown in jail if they use a substance. I don't care what the substance is. If they don't literally, commit a crime, then they should just go to rehab if it's really a problem, right? And so that's something that's been in me for so long. And I would be telling people all this all the time. I thought about protesting down at the freaking courthouse steps and all this stuff. And it's just, there's always so much time in the day, and we've got our boys and family, and I've got another business, et cetera. But so fast forward through this, I really thought I was going to have medical marijuana dispensaries. I go back and forth to Colorado constantly, and our primary residence is in a town called Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. It's a suburb of Jacksonville. And through this, I just realized all the bureaucracy and red tape and the regulations. We're not federally legal, how dirty it is with politics. They gave out 5 licenses in Florida, and guess how it went down. You had to have been in agriculture for 30 years. You had to have a $5 million bond on the side.
Oh my goodness.
And ironically enough, my cousin lived in Tallahassee. I actually went to Florida State and the Capitals in Tallahassee. And I'm talking to my cousin, and he says, I need to get you on a call because I'm buddies with this guy whose father-in-law literally wrote the legislation, and he got a cut of all 5 licenses that were given out in the state. And one of those licenses got flipped for $54 million, and they did not grow a single plant. So I literally threw my hands up in the air. I'm like, I was depressed. And I wanted to get into the space and into the movement. Look, the war on drugs since 71, it's a disaster, right? We can go on with that too. So then it came, fast forward, I got asked to be a distributor with a top 5 selling brand, and not quality. I mean, from a sales perspective in the US, okay? And when I started asking questions like, I want to know my farmer. Can you take me to the farms? Oh, well, we've got farms around the country. And so it really didn't sit right in my gut. If your gut if it doesn't sit right with you, I think at least for me, it's taken a long time to get to that space. I've got to listen to my gut. And so I literally had their product. I shipped it back. I said, I cannot do this. I'm not in this just for the cash, right? I mean, we gotta help people. And I want to know where the stuff is exactly from. And I want to know that we're putting out the cleanest, pure. And so that's from my viewpoint. My wife, Heather, who, by the way, has been on the holistic hunt and journey for at least 15, 20 years now. Our boys are almost 17 years old. So all of their ailments we've always looked for homeopathic remedies and so forth. And so to Kyle, my partner, he's a Chinese Jamaican dude, and his mom was growing the plant in the backyard, the youngest of 7 kids. And they used it for medicinal purposes by putting it in tea. and then Valerie with her zest for the beauty care, if you will, cosmetic types of products, being free from all the formaldehydes and parabens and toxins. So it really came together, and it took like 11 months to build our brand. And I went on the journey throughout Colorado to find the right partners. And I will tell you guys, and look, I love Texas too. And if people, so we also will partner with folks if they want us to help them develop products and bring their products to market. Okay. I have partners in Texas too. Okay. And a good buddy of mine's on the Aspen Green team as a rep, if you will, but he also is actually a grower. Okay. He's a grower. And so when we have other companies that don't demand necessarily the Aspen Green brand, I still want to help them put out the highest quality stuff possible, right?
And
so
yeah, for sure. And
yeah,
Brandon,
so I'm
how
going
many?
on and on. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you're great. You're great. So how many organic farms do you even know hemp farms have actually got that certification? Because it's pretty amazing. I think there's only a handful, right?
Yeah, there's only a handful, and that's part of a secret sauce. Look, I think the industry, more and more will go down that path, just to ensure quality. So for everybody here, I'd invite you to check out something else that we're doing. It's called greenplantsummit.com.
Yeah, we definitely want to highlight that. And also so Aspen Green is where you guys can go to check out the products, but it's the Green Summit, was it?
Green Plant.
Green Plant.
It is
Summit.
A green plant. Yeah.
It certainly
greenplantsummit.com.
And this is really cool what you guys are developing here. We're super stoked about it. I know we're going to be collabing with you a little bit on this. So that's going to be October 22nd to 25th. It's free. And this is designed not just for industry, but also to our consumers out there as well, right?
Absolutely. This summit is more geared toward the patient consumer. So we have a number of MDs, PhDs, and other key opinion leaders known as KOLs out there. Obviously, look, you don't have to have a PhD or an MD to be an expert in cannabis if you've been using it for a long enough time. But anyway, yeah, so we've got about 30 different topics. This is a 4-day event, and if anybody wants to have access to all of the videos, each of these webinars are roughly about 45 minutes to an hour long, and it's a $37 fee. And then they have access to all the videos all the time. Now, I didn't want to be the host because it's not, obviously our brand is Aspen Green. And yes, I want to promote Aspen Green, but here's my buddy, John Milanka. I met John earlier this year, and he's just got an amazing story. His wife passed of cancer, and she was taking THC. She passed 2.5 years ago, Corinne. And then her father had been diagnosed about 9 years ago with pancreatic cancer. I think it was prostate cancer, I believe it was. Anyway, they gave him 2 months to live. The guy's still alive today, and it was just from taking THC. So John is a fantastic host. He's interviewing the different thought leaders, and we'll have different promotions for folks to obviously partake in Aspen Green's products as well. So it's truly an educational event. Obviously, we'd like to move some Aspen Green products. That's why you don't see Aspen Green's logo all over the place in this event.
Yeah, I like that. You're keeping it education first, which is what we like. So go check out the Green Plant Summit, greenplantsummit.com. Let's go back to make sure that you check out Hemp Sense USA. Check out Derrick. I can't wait to watch some more of the videos too, Derrick. And the Hemp Chat. Make sure that you go listen to the Hemp Chat. We got to catch up on some of the past episodes. And of course, for Jesse, shout out to Texas Cannabis Collective. Thank you so much for being here as well,
Yay.
Jesse. And make sure you go create your account go to the homepage, click the link, and create your account for the new Cannabis Collective community, so you can get the latest news. Yeah, so you can post what you want about hemp without getting it deleted and yelled at by Facebook.
You post what you want about a legal plant in this country.
That's right. And then of course you can check out the self-guided tour as well this weekend.
Awesome.
I wanted to add something. I don't think people know about this, and I hope that these other two individuals, Mr. Brandon and Mr. Derrick, are going to be providing pharmacies, like we have a pharmacy here in Austin that actually sells hemp oil extract. And I got smart and said, I'm going to go in and ask, do you have a prescriber that will actually prescribe this as an over-the-counter supplement? And lo and behold, Victory Medical had prescribed me a hemp oil extract. And the doctor was like very clear. Was like, do you understand this could possibly show up on your analysis? And I was like, yes, I understand. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm talking to you about this. I want a doctor's script, because when I go into the VA as a veteran and I tell my doctors that I'm using this, I don't want the VA to be able to go, you're a damn dirty doper, and mark me down as they will mark you down, depending on the doctor, as a marijuana abuser if they find THC in your system.
Wow.
The fact that this has been descheduled and there's a prescription tied to it now gives you all sorts of federal protections.
That's great.
Even the state may not give them to you, but you will have them federally because you have this script.
Where was that, Jesse? Where was that in 1990 something when I was in the Navy? They found cannabis in my urine. I would have loved to have that then. Because of that, just because I had cannabis supposedly in my urine, I did 30 days in the brig for that.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's
crazy.
And even now,
true story.
You would still, like, the Navy had the DOD still hasn't allowed this. There's supposedly a bill going through Congress to allow DOD members to use this. And the reason why they haven't allowed it yet is because this very thing of it's likely going to show up in your urine, and they have no way of knowing, are you using the bottle, this extract? Are you using this? Or are you out there doing your other number? And they don't want to play that. They don't want to play that game.
Personally, I wish they would stop playing that game. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of, it's a total waste of resources and time when time can be used elsewhere looking for shit. I don't know.
Well, and we're exactly. And we're all adults. And it's like, you see the commercial, drink responsibly. Well, or buzz responsibly. I think we should all start coining just the term buzz instead of saying high, because that was always attached to this other concept in the religious person's mind that we're all brainwashed from childhood. But if we just tell them, hey, buzz responsibly, at least you can get an alcohol buzz, risk that headache in the morning, or you can get a creative buzz and then come up with innovative ideas that will really put America ahead of everything. It's just a buzz, guys. I mean, if
don't be a buzzkill.
Yeah. Exactly. Come on.
It actually helps your brain. Gets
That's
rid of
right.
Whoops, can't say that.
No health claims, Captain Cannabis. That's his personal opinion. No, that's awesome, man.
Maybe it does it. No.
I think it's so true, though. And it does seem like we're getting somewhere, because now our legislators, our lawmakers, they're more open to this than they ever have been, because, two things. One, there's a hell of a lot of money attached to it. And secondarily, because, we've learned and grown as a society now as well. And we've seen the plant be destigmatized by efforts like all of ours and movies, Pineapple Express and et cetera, et cetera. The plant's become more and more destigmatized. So we keep
and that's on. That's a big reason why I tell people that if you have this and you get a bunch of people on this where they have this prescription, when it comes time for the legislature to go, oh, well, we don't like that, you're going to have everybody up in arms going, oh, no, that's my health care. How dare you take my health care away from me? I mean, we started removing the dangerous opioids, and people, nursing homes filled with old people are going, hey, no, that's our health care. It's like, well, we could start replacing it.
Absolutely.
But if you take this away as well, you're going to see people up in arms about it.
For sure.
Motivated to move.
And we like to encourage anyone that does qualify for one of those. There's 2 million Texans now that qualify under the new program for the 0.5, the compassionate cultivation teacup. And it's not the best. We all know it. Okay. But it's something. And if we grow that, then great things could happen on that side as well. So if you do qualify, it's now just a virtual one phone call, one virtual call with the doctor, and you can get the prescription.
Let's do it today.
Yeah, if you have one of those conditions.
Unless we
Yeah.
take it one step further and just get it removed from Schedule 1, period.
Yes.
And we don't need to
Well,
do
for
all
sure.
that. You know what I mean? Because I,
So true.
as a veteran, we could die for our country, but god dang, you get a little cannabis in your system, you're going to jail. But the legislators and the lawmakers don't even have to take a urinalysis to
Yeah.
run this country. Wait a second, right? And some of those guys should be in jail more than others. My personal opinion. Okay. Not
Yeah.
all, just a couple, you know.
That's
Yeah,
so
for that
true. I
lady-
wonder how much THC would pop up if we did a little random
A lot of
across
it.
the board
Up-
sampling up at the old
Mhm,
Capitol
mhm.
in DC for
Sure.
sure. Well,
But
guys,
anyhow.
this has been amazing. Thank you all so much for joining us today
Cheers.
for the Texas Hemp Party. Cynthia, I think we might have time for the word of the week, or we're going to do it next week, you think?
Excellent.
Spanish word of the week. We'll
Sure.
leave them.
We'll leave them with a, you know, maybe we can do a little review of the stuff that we've gone instead of trying to share a completely new word. But
Okay, I like it. So we've had the Spanish words of the week for the last few weeks.
so here you go. I don't know if you all
Spanish word
remember
of
the
the day.
first one. How do you say
Can-
hemp in Spanish?
Cáñamo.
Cáñamo.
Cañe. Oh, I forgot the
Cáñamo.
ñ.
Cáñamo,
Cáñamo.
right? Yeah, cáñamo.
Yo quiero cáñamo.
We learned this was the hard
Ay,
one.
te cañamo.
Cannabinoid. Cannabinoid.
Cannabinoides.
Yeah.
Cannabinoides.
Cannabinoides. Bien. And then the
Cannabinoides.
last one, we learned the slang. How do you say marijuana in slang? In Spanish?
Marimba.
Mota.
Marimba.
Opa.
Yeah, some of the more famous, right? Mota, yerba, but marimba. Sure.
I like it.
Yeah,
Marimba.
trying to remember that, hey, this plant is all over the world. It's not just in the US. It's not just in Texas for sure. It's just started to be in Texas. So
Isn't there a musical instrument called a marimba as well?
yeah,
I'm
Yes,
telling you.
that's what I thought.
it's also the
That's what it
I
was.
thought that was a dance.
I know,
Yeah.
me too. Last week I
I
was
don't know,
thinking
the
it was a dance.
moringa or the
Maringa.
it's
Yeah,
a pie.
Maringa.
Macarena.
I don't know. The
merengue.
Macarena.
Macarena.
Maringue.
We should get a Mexican restaurant, or that's American owned, like Chi-Chi's, that was really popular when I was growing up, but call it maringa,
Marimba.
or
Marimba.
marimba. Yeah.
Marimba.
Marimba.
Right.
Pleasure
No
to
one
meet
knows.
everybody. Thank
It
you.
was
for
great to
having me.
meet all
You
of
did.
y'all. Thanks
Meet
everyone for
everybody.
tuning in, and we'll catch you next
Thanks,
week
Brandon.
on the Texas Hemp Party. Have a great day.
Thank you
See
very
y'all.
much. Sorry, it's late. Thank you.
No,
Oh,
you're
you're fine.
good.